You're still watching Prime Morning. It's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have. We know the biggest stories to do with our finance minister, who actually gave us the mid-year budget review yesterday in Parliament. There are people who are excited about it, others are not. So there are some kind of mixed feelings. And also yesterday, in the course of the day, we also heard from COPEC that fuel prices are going to shoot up today. So we hear the finance minister tell us that things are getting better, is on the right track. And you wake up knowing that, things are supposed to be better. For those of you who didn't know, COPEC issued a statement yesterday. Well, today, fuel prices are going up. And so brace yourself and go buy your fuel. Let me start with the Daily Guide newspaper, which happens to be our first newspaper for today. The Daily Guide reads, Pius Hiajide contests Asojaman NPP seat. We are back to business, says Ken, as minority cries foul. Court stops Cassius mining. NPP names polling stations ahead of confab. And a Hunter West MP denies resigning. There are some stories in here as well. Celebrities join Samia Wuku Ofie Mega Walk. Vanisher thrills at Ghetto Talent Hunt. And Elon Musk reactivates Kanye West's Twitter account. Business stories in here as well. Economy recovering, says the finance minister. GIZ, Golden Exotics train over 1,200 petty traders. Growth investment partners launched to boost SME funding. And we have some sports at the back page as well. Otoado reunites with Haaland and Sancho. Spain star fumes after Japan thrashing. Black Challenge will win African Para Games. And Ten Hag gives Maguire open check. And that will be all for the Daily Guide newspaper. I will do the Daily Statesman newspaper next. The Daily Statesman, $50 million BII support for SME. Communications Minister inaugurates rural telephony networks in northern region. Pius pledges improved livelihoods for Eswajaman. Stabilization of economy on course. Finance Minister calls for support of citizens. Some stories in here as well. This is world news. Niger coup. West African leaders threaten military intervention. And we know that Niger is under coup now. And I don't know why Africa, we always do this. Do you really need to do this? What's happening? Democracy must work, because anytime there's coup, it means that a lot of lives will be lost, especially the innocent ones. Sudan conflict. Women tell BBC horror stories of a rape. And career shortage. Woman stuck in hospital for 11 months. Wow. Some stories on the back page. Manchester United 2 and Borussia Dortmund 3. Andre Onana rants at Harry Maguire during a Las Vegas defeat. Tom Fury and KSI boxer to face off against YouTuber in Manchester in October. All right, we'll see how that one also comes out for the boxing lovers. The Daily Graphic newspaper. Ghana elected to World Tourism Organization Executive Council. Mid-year budget review. Economy shows signs of recovery, says the finance minister. New GDP target signals decline, says the minority. $300 million dispute. Court places injunction on mining firm. And tertiary students visits NCA. More stories in here. Work to win citizens' trust in political system. Speaker urges politicians. Parliament must strengthen oversight to save BOG. Dr. Sam Ankra says so. Government determined to protect nation against terrorism. Defense Minister says this. Backstories. ENI Ghana partners give scholarship to 1,000 students. And Communications Minister commissions rural telephony sites in northern region. The Economy Times. The Economy Times read, cost of credit to rise steadily. BOG exposure, stock and bonds undergo 50% haircut. First National Bank resumes forex trading. And let's see if there's some stories in here as well. Yes, there are. It's a worry to us, BOG governor on hoarding of dollars. Importers and exporters urge to refrain from unlawful practices. And Standard Chartered posts strong income growth in 2022, affirms commitment to Ghana. That will be all for the Economy Times. I'll do the final paper, which happens to be the Finder newspaper. The Finder. 2023 GDP growth revised to 1.5%. Headline inflation pegged at 31.3%. Ghana joins Executive Council of UN World Tourism Organization. Government focused on environment that encourages investment, fosters entrepreneurship. Well, somebody might say otherwise, because as an entrepreneur currently you struggle. The kind of taxes that you have to pay is not easy, and so if government is saying so, we just want to feel it. That's all we ask for. UK government supports Ghana with €3.9 million to sanitize small-scale mining sector, and we will definitely discuss this. And also, Venture Capital Trust Fund blows 1.7 million Ghana cedis on CEO's residence, but it is not occupied in 4 years. Wow, Ghana. And I think that will be all for the Finder newspaper as well. My guest is seated, and he's from the NDC. We are still waiting for our guest from the NPP, but we'll definitely start our conversation with Prince Mahmood, who is coming on the ticket of the NDC. Good morning, Prince.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Great. It's good to have you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I was back up north and some little break, so I'm here again.
How are your people? I know they watch us a lot.
Yes, they watch. They are doing very well and always watching your programs. Yeah.
And it's good to have you
thank
here
you very
too.
much.
And you came here safely, so we are happy. We are still waiting for our NPP rep who will join us during the show. Hopefully, he will be here very, very soon. But let's start off with the media budget review. Overall review from you. What do you think about it?
Thank you very much. Let me say a very good morning to our cherished viewers across the country and beyond. Rosalind, I think that you and I, we have been doing our budget review on a daily basis. What the finance minister did, it's by requirement of law that he should do what he did. But if you ask me about my view on what he read, that is quite different from what the real situation is. And if I'll start from what he read in Parliament yesterday, I see it as one of his usual boring speeches that he normally gives in Parliament. So even from the stage of giving out the message, it starts on a very boring note. So that tells you what it contains.
I was going to ask maybe about the content. Or
so I'm just saying that as a start, that's how the content also
for you was
follow up. Yeah. Now, the substance of the issue, I think the key word in there he said yesterday was that they had turned the corner. Literally meaning that they are now to hit the right road. The reverse is the reality on the ground. Rosalind, if you look at what is happening today and to compare it to what he said yesterday, we are actually yet to get to the road, not to even talk about turning on a corner. Budget review is supposed to tell us how far we've gone with the main budget, giving us the indications you brought much earlier on last year. You told us that you expected the economy to grow at 2.8%, if I'm right. Yesterday, you had revised it down to 1.5%, and that's a very significant downwards remark, if I will say. Apart from that, I remember in 2022 November when he...
Prince, before you continue, for you, the change from the 2.8 to 1.5 is a failure?
It's a negative. It's a negative sign. Okay. I get in the point. Apart from that, one other significant thing I observed was that last year when he read the 2023 budget, he told us that they were not going to borrow from the domestic market. But so far, they have done 5.5 billion Ghana cedis from the market and expected to do over 40 billion. You don't see this as anything positive for our economy. And you see, throughout his speech, he keeps on saying that he was making reference to industry growth, they were putting in measures. And that is also the opposite of what really the situation is on the ground. For instance, how does the industry grow? Mainly on two key factors: that there is a very friendly tax environment to allow private sector to grow. Is that the case? It's opposite. The other thing has to do with how the banks are functioning. Interest rates. Is it the case? We are on the negative trend even with the banking sector. Now talk about the taxes. In the finance minister's own presentation in Parliament yesterday, he told the whole world that Ghana was among the least hit countries when it comes to COVID, isn't it? He told us, and he gave out figures to buttress his point. Now, it's strange that the country that is described as one of the most least hit countries when it comes to COVID is the only country in the world taxing COVID. That's strange. There is no country in the world that is having a tax on COVID. We are the only country finding ourselves in that situation. You see, I made mention about the second aspect, which has to do with the banking, because private sector cannot grow without an effective banking system, or in other words, a healthy banking system. Now, we teach our students, just like we're also taught, that the central bank is the last resort for all the banks, and even the last resort for the central government as well. It's strange that what is supposed to be the last resort, in other words, the most healthiest bank, standing in preparation and waiting for the unexpected and they will come in, is also not healthy. The Bank of Ghana is not in any healthy position. Are you getting the point?
Because they've incurred some costs in recent times.
Yes,
right.
Apart from the loss, the confidence level, even if you look at their policy direction, is also in a very weak position, because all what they tell us they will do, they do the opposite. I get the point. So,
what did they tell us they'll do that they did the opposite?
For instance, financing the central bank, they've been untruth with the people of this country.
How? What did they say that is not true?
Rosalind, if you just flick your mind back, somewhere last year, the Bank of Ghana gave a number of assurances as to financing, the level at which they were going to finance, the central government's budget. At the end of the day, they ended up printing billions of Ghana cedis to finance the budget without the approval of Parliament.
Right.
It did happen. Are you getting the point?
We know it did happen, but what did Parliament do about it as well?
Is that where our concern should be?
Yeah, that's because if
we should also be worried as a people.
We should be worried as a people if you tell us that as a parliament, this is your job, or to approve before it's done. When something is done without approval, what happens to the parliament? What is parliament supposed to do?
That's one leg of it, Rosalind. What is also important is that if they did not do that, if they did not commit that error, Parliament wouldn't have even come in the first place. So even before we talk about what Parliament should have done, we should agree that they have done what is wrong.
What I'm saying is that wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
But in my position, I voted for somebody to represent me in Parliament for approvals to happen. Now, if that person does what is wrong, somebody does what is wrong, and the person was supposed to have approved it, and the person did not approve it. Under normal circumstances, if I'm representing the people, what am I supposed to do?
By saying that does not suggest that
I agree that what BOG did was wrong. But it's as though, BOG has done it is wrong, and parliamentarians are there.
I'm not sure it is just the case. I'm not a parliamentarian and probably do not understand so much the operations and activities of Parliament. But what is important is that for us to even get to know of it as a people, it came through Parliament. So I'm sure that what the laws allow them to do, they will certainly
My point is,
do it.
Once we say that they did it without Parliament approval, and Parliament has realized the wrong has been done, Parliament ought to do something. If Parliament didn't do anything, then we can't speak too much about it, right?
It's early days yet for you and I to say Parliament is not doing anything about it. It's early days
So you think that Parliament is going to do something about it?
I believe so, because they are enshrined with some powers to do it, and I'm positive that they are going to do it. So it's negative there. And for me, I think that these two things that I just mentioned does not support private sector growth. Again, there was another very worrying thing that they have been mentioning all the time, that they have 126 factories operational and that it has created several thousands of jobs. You see, Rosalind, up to this point, the MPP shouldn't be giving us these narratives. We are in 7 years of their government. They told us in 2016 that they were going to do one district, one factory. The rationale behind that agenda was to push industry growth and also make sure that our imports, we check our import level. Unfortunately for us, we are 7 years down the line. They come to tell us they have had 126 of their factories running, yet they are unable to tell us that due to this factory's existence and operation, our import of X commodity in the past has reduced because we produce those things in this country.
That's what you want to hear.
No,
so
but that is what
for you.
should...
For you, it's so not about the fact that they have created the factory.
Because those things
have given the jobs.
It's just figures they are bundling around. Because I have disputed this several times. I'm from a region with 11 districts, and there is no single factory in my region. That's created by
in your region.
Which is significant.
Maybe
so on an average, are you trying to tell me that it is just normal that all the other regions will have significant number and my region will not have? No. Then that even goes against the Constitution. Maybe
they are still building.
No, there is nothing like that.
Maybe they have a land that they are going to construct the factory on their region.
8 years down the line, 7 years down the line, you have a policy. You claim you have done 126. We have 16 regions in the country. And up to date, one of them, which I can confidently talk about. So we might have, similar cases in other regions. Just yesterday, I don't know whether I followed your news, but I followed your sister stations. They did a story in the market, and guess what is happening? That the coup d'etat in Niger in the coming weeks will affect our onion.
Yeah, because we do import.
That's so.
We have Niger tomatoes, Niger. I
understand. I'm just trying to make a point that just because some group of soldiers picked arms against their government, a country like Ghana will begin to suffer in the market. It doesn't make sense. What have we done with the planting for food and jobs? They are saying they are moving on to the second phase of it, isn't it? What has the first phase done? They claim it has provided some form of food security. Yet, the food inflation is one of the highest in the basket, isn't it? What has it done? Apart from that...
We know food prices have gone down. With that, I will say, because food prices have gone down. For now, food prices have stabilized a little. It's gone down. Back, I think somewhere in February or something, we saw the hikes in food. Even as of December,
that was when it was flying in 70%.
But now
you see, if you say it has gone down, that still doesn't make it good. It has gone down to what?
But it has gone. Will we agree?
No,
we both agree
you see,
that
Rosalind, it's not about it's going down.
Okay.
It's about it being at a stage where it can actually be procured. That is what is important.
Okay, so for you, it's not about whether it's gone down or not.
For me, it's about what is real. Are you getting the point? It's about what is real. Today, go to the market and ask about, even though we are in the harvesting season, right? Which will, we should naturally bring down the price of maize. But go to the markets today and ask of the price of maize. We're still buying it in excess of 800 Ghana cedis at markets here.
Okay.
So those policies, you bring out a policy with the anticipation that the end results will have a direct impact on the people. Planting for food and job is not just in existence for the sake of its name, but it should have a direct impact on prices of food and availability of same in the market.
Okay, I'll take a quick break on this note, and when we come back, we'll have our NPP rep seated and we'll have a conversation. Please do stay.
Of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
The journey continues, but becoming that phenomenal lady doesn't happen in a day.
It takes courage and refusing to settle for less.
This season on the PL show, it gets much more diverse,
Engaging and impactful. This is the PL show.
We paint the perfect picture of pain, sleepless nights, hard work, and of course, the ultimate breathtaking view from the mountaintop, success.
Successful ladies from all walks of life doing amazing things and positively effective change in their respective fields.
And as you know, we share all these with you, our ardent follower, to help you navigate that journey and also come out strong and phenomenal.
This is the PL show. Join us this and every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. right here on this channel.
It's brought to you by Kale Charcoal, Kale 360, and Kale Kids Toothpaste.
Kale, happy smile.
Hello and welcome to The Baby Doctor with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. So the baby is forming nicely. The leg is forming nicely.
One of my favorites is the one that when the baby is having hiccups, then they pull the thread of the napkin and put it on their head here.
Or just a shot of fusky on the child's head, to kill the worms and, all these babies. A bundle of joy for all families.
And the objective of prenatal care is to anticipate problems and prevent problems.
Are there people who are born naturally without the ability to produce eggs or make children?
You can always be anything you want, but you cannot always have a child.
Welcome you to The Baby Doctor. Your Baby Doctor provides a guide to your child's healthy life. On this show, we tell you how to keep your baby healthy every day, because a healthy child makes a happy family.
I thought you were telling.
Saka Salia is here. You're still watching Prime Morning, and finally, Saka Salia is here. He's on the ticket of the NPP. He's joining us. Good morning, Saka.
Good morning, Rosemary.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
My viewers are not happy with you because you came in late.
I can understand.
It's not the first time. That's why they're not happy.
Yeah, I think that.
And Rosalind, just to chat, I have a friend who has been willing to have the two of us have a full show for a very long time.
And he came in late.
Unfortunately, that's Nadine. Anytime he always wants to have a full-time show, but on our...
But we still have enough time, so we are good to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that you know the reason too.
No, I don't accept
You know the reason.
it.
You know where I'm coming from.
We live in the same neighborhood, so I won't accept your excuse.
But I'm sure the viewers accept it.
No, they
accept
won't.
the apology.
So don't be late again.
Yeah, you see,
Today
the
should
fact
be
is
the
that,
last time.
You see, I'm a Muslim, and I have to make sure that I pray before coming.
But I also pray. I'm also
but I don't know.
And I also stay at a very far.
At the right time.
Can you imagine this?
Yeah, I mean, so you have to pray
all the time.
You have to make sure
right
that
time.
by 5 you are selling the house.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, you can then prepare.
Fajr is 5 a.m.
Fajr is 5 a.m.
It's 5 a.m.
And so I leave the house after 5.
I also left the house around 5.
You use Sarin, so you can.
I don't use Siren. Your party is in power. Anyway, welcome, Saka.
Thank you.
We are talking about the budget review that was read by the finance minister yesterday, the media budget review. What's your overall take on it?
Yeah, thank you very much. And then good morning to my brother, good morning to yourself. And the viewers. Yesterday, I think that we witnessed one of the honest budget presentation. This is a supplementary budget. This is a mid-year review. It's not a supplementary budget because we did not ask for more money, and therefore it was just a matter of course to let Parliament know exactly what is happening in terms of our finances. And if you look at the honesty, the sincerity, and then the gains that this government have made over the past 6 months, I think that the government deserves applause. First of all, we all know where we came from. If you take the statistics of where we came from, I mean, when we took over from the NDC, almost everything was at the downward spring. Almost everything. All the statistics. GDP was slowing.
You know, Saka, I still get amazed when the NPP make reference to people who were booted out of power because people felt they were not doing the right thing.
Because
The power has been given to the NPP, and the NPP ought to. This is the second term, not even your first term, for you to be making reference to. Oh, just last year when we took over, your second term, 2020. The people gave the power back to you because they felt you were doing well. So let's not go back into the NDC era. Let's take to your. It is your time.
Exactly.
What are you doing to give the people the thing?
I understand, but you see, it is important that people can track where we are coming from.
You are in power. We have voted for you to be in power. Do the job.
Okay. We know, because the people that you said we booted out are still talking.
No, but you tell us what you're doing.
You see, they are pretending as if given the opportunity, they could have done better than the MPP. And therefore, when you want to talk, you first of all have to premix your presentation with where you are coming from and what you do.
But you think Ghanaians actually know why they didn't want them? Right?
No. I mean,
they knew why they voted them out.
The reason still exists.
Yeah, so let's go with yours.
Yeah, so the reason that they didn't like them, or they booted them, I'm using your words, they booted them out of power, those reasons still persist. Because one, they believe they are not honest.
So that's why they are still in opposition.
And all that.
Let's talk about you in power.
And highly incompetent. And all those things. And those people that they presented during that period, they are people who are still.
I'm talking about you in power. You are in power.
Yeah, so
your finance minister.
Yeah, so I want to
talk about your finance minister's address.
Okay, I want to explain some things. So after everybody knew the reasons why we were given the mandates, and then when we took over power, we did not rest on our hours. We ensured that we move this nation forward in such a fast pace of development, never seen before. In terms of about 3 times the fastest growing economy in the world, we were highly, disciplined, we were very competent, and we had a grasp of the economy. That is from 2017 to 2019. 2019, we all saw what happened in the world. Where commodity prices have to rise in record time.
I'm sorry to cut you again. I'm sorry to cut you again, but you see, we have been on this tangent for too long.
Yes.
I am asking you what you think about the budget.
So I'm telling you what happened.
My point is that anytime we keep on going about the Russia, Ukraine, we keep on going about COVID.
Yet, but we'll go there.
No. Let us stick to what you think about the media budget review that was read yesterday. Because the finance minister didn't even make reference to those things. He made reference to the fact that, last year, this happened. As of now, this is happening. Can we stick to that? Can we forget about this
I understand.
and stick to what is on the table,
but
please?
You see, personally, when I'm doing analysis, I want people to come with me.
But we are here with you.
Yeah, so then come with me. Okay. If you are here with me, you have to move with me.
We don't have 24 hours for the show.
No, we don't need 24 hours.
Yeah, so let's go straight to the point.
Yeah, so if you listen to the finance minister, he might not make that very categorical for you to understand. But in all the things that he said, he admitted the challenges that we are facing, the fact that we even though we are facing challenges, we cannot stand and expect development to continue in the face of the challenges. Remember, there is no way anybody can talk about any economy in the world without mentioning COVID, because COVID it came to devastate the whole world, where all economies have been closed down. And therefore, when you are starting, economy like the most developed economies, the UK, US, and all those countries suffered severely, economically and mortality and all that. And therefore, during that period, there are situations where even the workers were laid down and all that. But under this economy, as was mentioned by the finance minister, we still, even in the face of all the challenges, did so much, ensure that we pay workers, ensure that salaries we even increased salary by 7% and all that. In the face of all that...
There was even COLA.
COLA. In the face of all that, we development continued. Remember, Agenda 111, never heard of in anywhere in Africa, that a single government within a single term want to build 111. This is just the 111. Before the 111, we were already building uncompleted healthcare centers and all that, and hospitals. Pardon?
Where are they?
Oh, they are all over. I mean, you remember, even there were a regional hospital which was under the YearBudget project. Remember the Kumasi Afari military hospital, which was also under the YearBudget project. Remember?
So you refurbished? Refurbished?
No, it's not refurbishing.
Or it was built from the scratch?
No, I'm saying that it is a YearBudget project that started during the period of Ekufuor, 2008, and it has to stop because of the financial crunch that came. So the various governments came and then they did their bits, and then we came and also continued. And there are many. So under this government, we did all those things. Remember, apart from that, the road infrastructure, the school infrastructure, no government in history has built school infrastructure than this government. Forget about the lies. That's E-blocks and those E-blocks. The NPP have built more E-blocks than the NDC.
Can we see them? So you say that
they're there.
For what you're saying,
yes.
We do agree. We don't challenge you at all.
Yes.
You know, when you mention the things that you're doing,
yes.
like the roads, I have seen the roads, so I will not challenge you on the roads.
They themselves admitted that.
Okay.
I mean, the statistics, if you go to the Ministry of Roads, the statistics shows that.
There's still some roads that are in very deplorable state.
Because if your area for them, if you go to Bochi and other places,
we are hoping that it will be fixed. But we've seen the road constructions going on, and so for that, we won't even say too much. When you say, roads and this, I won't say too much. But when you speak about the schools, talking about the number of schools that you have built, or the infrastructure you have...
school infrastructure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. School infrastructures that you have put up.
Let me explain one thing.
It will be good for us to see pictures, because when we talk about the E-blocks, they showed us, these are the E-blocks. We saw the structures, we saw everything. No, I'm just saying, even if it's one, they still showed.
Yes.
So if there's infrastructure, school infrastructure, just show. So Ghanaians will, it's just so that Ghanaians will know that as Saka is speaking, it's true.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But you see, I'm sure you've seen the STEM schools. About 10 of them were built from the scratch. And those schools, if you take one, it can take care of 20 E-blocks in terms of style, in terms of the huge nature of the infrastructure. When you see the infrastructure, it acts the eye of the beholder. You see it, and you yourself, you know that indeed this is a real infrastructure and all that. Then you see, when they were going out of power, they completed only 19 E-blocks, and some were at various stages and all that. But when the APP came, all those at various stages of completion, we completed all.
No, as of now, you've completed only 24.
No, but I'm saying that they built 19 and left.
Yeah, but you have completed only 24 out of this.
No, it's not only 24. I didn't build
24. The Minister of Education said it's 24.
When was that? That was over a year or two ago.
It's not over a year ago. That's just like 2 months ago.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% sure.
Okay, let's take your word.
Okay.
So that we completed 24 and they completed 19.
But
so even in that score,
they are still ongoing.
Even that score, we did better than them. But I'm not going into that. But I'm just saying that if you look at this particular budget that was read yesterday, all the statistics, the fact that even the lowest of the low in terms of those that rely on stipends to live, the leap, we have increased dramatically. We have increased the number of households. We have increased the amount that they get and all that. We have increased, like I told you, almost every sector of the economy. But it's easy. It's just that the whole world is intertwined. When I was sitting here, I was listening to him. He said that why would any a country like Niger have problem? And no, look, we cannot have everything. For instance, today, if there is a turmoil in Ghana where it will be difficult for us to go to the farm, cocoa prices in the world market will suffer because we are a major player. When it comes to cocoa, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire alone constitute about 60% of the world cocoa production.
And therefore, gold.
Yeah, even gold. And therefore, when we say that, sometimes when we talk about Ukraine, Russia, people say that, but Russia, Ukraine, there is a reason. We all knew the reason why, if you go to buy fertilizer today, the price quadruple because Ukraine, Russia. Russia is the second largest producer of crude oil. Oil and gas and all those things, they are byproduct of the crude oil. And the gas, the crude oil, is also used to manufacture these fertilizers that we talk about. When you talk about wheat, these are the two countries that produce more of those.
So in a nutshell,
if the economies of those
So in a nutshell, the mid-year budget review that was read yesterday is satisfactory.
It's satisfactory in the sense that at least we in terms of even growth, if you look at growth, the first quarter, second quarter growth. At least we even exceeded expectation.
Right. No, the minority leader has also spoken. Can I read what the minority leader said? He said that the performance so far shows that we have turned the corner. Unfortunately, the evidence and the numbers before us show that he has rather deepened our woes. This is coming from Ato Forcing, the minority leader. He further said that, I say this because he has said to us today that he's revising economic growth from 2.8% of GDP to 1.5% of GDP. Now, we know that last year, the finance minister told us that GDP will grow to 2.8%, but yesterday, he actually said that it's now 1.5%. Again, he said that, he said to us here and now that he has borrowed 5.5 billion Ghana cedis from January to June from the T-bill market. Mr. Speaker, not long ago, the same minister had informed us that he would not borrow at all in the year 2023, and that going into the remaining parts of the year, he's going to borrow another 41 billion Ghana cedis. So, again, Ato Forsen is saying, Finance Minister did tell us that he wasn't going to borrow this year. Now, even as of now, 7 months into the year, 5.5 billion has been borrowed from us.
But actually, that is the reason why the budget is a revised budget. Revised in the sense that there are sometimes when you see, you focus and you say that, okay, this particular area, we need to do A, B, C, D. We need to go outside what we
to fix what we thought
what we
was
presented because of A, B, C, D. That's all that the revised budget is all about. It's not about I came here and I said we will do this and I'm coming to continue with it. Then there is no any reason for coming to Parliament. But I'm saying that if you look at the crude oil at the export price in Ghana here, we all know how much it was in 6 months. And today, how much it is. If you look at the depreciation of the cedi or the currency, has more or less stabilized. If you look at almost all the indices, all the things that inflation, for instance, at a point went as far as 54. Today, as we are speaking, inflation is hovering around 41, 42.
I think it's 42.
41, 42 and all that. So you can see that despite the challenges, we are opening up. Even the IMF, when the IMF came to Ghana, the country director of the IMF, they themselves alluded to the reason why we are in this problem. And that's given the opportunity that they gave us. If you look at even the IMF, how we got there, it's a record time because we needed to do...
Record time?
Yeah, record time in terms of the period that we used to assess the fund.
Don't forget that we kept on missing out on our opportunities. Ghanaians were here. We're supposed to have gotten it last year. We were supposed to get it in October. We didn't get it.
What do you mean we're supposed to have gotten it?
Because that's what we're told.
By
we
who?
were told by the finance minister.
That we were supposed to have gotten it?
Yes, because we were... See...
No.
Saka,
Yes.
it was supposed to have been approved
what
in
did he say was the reason why
October. It
we
was
didn't
supposed to have been approved in October. We missed it. It was supposed to have been approved in December.
What
We
was
missed
supposed to have approved in October?
The IMF money.
Who said that?
Saka, we are all here in Ghana. Let me bring Prince into the conversation.
Let me dispute that.
Let me
Don't run away from me now.
No, but I'm not running away, but it's a fact. Because we all know the time that it elapsed.
No.
We all know how long it took before we got this IMF money coming in. It was a hooray for us to the extent that the finance minister actually addressed us saying that if we do not get this money, then Ghana will definitely go down in drains. And so we needed the money.
No, but he says so. But he said, no. But you wait.
You let me. You're talking for a while. I'll let you come in. Let me let.
You're
talking for a while. He's talking for a while.
You relax. I think my brother literally is making a mockery of the situation. Let me just do some few rebuts. You see, you are describing today's situation as better than what
last year.
You receive. I mean, what you were handed over in 2017.
That's not what.
And I think that was when you checked him that these statements were the reasons why they voted for them.
Well, no, I think what he was trying to say was that they took over from an economy that wasn't good. I think he was trying to make a point that for the first 4 years... No, I think he was trying to make a point. For the first 4 years, before COVID and Russia hit, they were doing well. Was that the point?
That's the point.
Okay, all right.
You see...
So I've held you here.
Yeah, you see, that still doesn't save the situation. Rosalind, it's clear that the comfort situation they found themselves in 2017 and 2018 were as a result of the good interventions that the previous government put in place.
How?
You see, he talks about financing the budget, just like I mentioned before he came in. In 2016, the NDC then did a 0% financing of the budget from the Bank of Ghana. So it gave the Bank of Ghana a very solid form as compared to what they have today. The current woes of the Bank of Ghana is as a result of the haircuts. But they are economical with that aspect of their statement because they were forced to go for a 15% haircut from the current domestic debt restructuring program. Are you getting the point? The economy you inherited did 0% financing from the Bank of Ghana. Apart from that,
but we all know that before Russia-Ukraine war hit. I didn't want to go there.
I don't want to.
But we know that the first term of the NPP. We know that the first term of the NPP wasn't as bad as it is now.
That is what I answered you by telling you that. I answered it by telling you and our listeners that it is as a result of the policies that the NDC government implemented.
That's how come they were able to do.
Yeah, that gave them. Look.
How?
Oh, come on. Look, we talk about our reserves.
Okay.
How many months of reserves did they inherit? Today we have 0.8 months. The reserves we have today cannot survive us for a month.
To do that.
That is what is contained in your own budget. You don't know. Read your own budget. 0.8 months. That is what is contained in your budget. Is that what you were handed over? Today you are celebrating 42 to 43% inflation. against you inheriting 17.45 inflation.
But we know they dropped the inflation at a point, right?
You see, Rosalind, we shouldn't be going back. At a point, for a very long time. But you went back
into your 17.
No, I mean, if you do that, I will go back to tell you that within the Fourth Republic, Rosalind.
Prince, you went into 17. You
Rosalind,
said they
I did that because he mentioned about
inheritance. But don't forget that they also went into the single digits before they hit into the 42.
I'm telling you that going back should tell you that within the Fourth Republic, it was an NDC government that had a single-digit inflation.
No, a lot of government had it.
Tell me which government under the Fourth Republic.
Kufuor had it. Kufuor
did not.
Listen.
Oh, you see, when
the mill had it at a
very
No, but he kept quiet.
No, I just want to. I don't want him to lie so that other people will be laughing at you.
You know you have your time.
Everybody
Prince, wait. Saka, you know you have your time, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Saka, in the whole presentation, you were making mockery of yourself. I'm not lying. You can dispute.
Prince, you continue making your point.
He can dispute it with.
Make your point. He also can.
So I'm saying that, Rosalind, today, they are celebrating 40 plus inflation as against 17.4 that they inherited. Apart from all these things, the finance minister yesterday corroborated the reports of the Bank of Ghana in the cedi depreciation. The cedi depreciated 30% in the last quarter. That is what we are celebrating today. And you see, the accounts will normally have a saying that Otrofo se ne dansi ni wo abrochiri, if I got my
That's how he
right.
said.
Saka is here. He's from Upper West. I'm here, also from Upper West. He claims that they have done the best in terms of infrastructure in education. I hope I got him right. And I'm putting it on record that the region the two of us come from, which he can mention and I will also mention.
We're talking about Ghana.
No, what? So Upper West is not Ghana.
So it's part of Ghana.
Can you imagine
talking
this?
about Ghana in general.
Can you imagine this?
So what are you talking
Saka,
about?
you are comfortable
So what are you talking about?
As a national
I'm talking about Ghana in general. You want to zoom us into...
Saka, I'm disappointed. Honestly, people will be very
Look at what you're saying. Look at what you're doing.
People will be very
We are
disappointed.
talking about performance of government.
What do you mean by the Upper West?
Prince and Saka, I am here to make sure that we have a very good conversation. So please, let's not talk about
He wants to go into his comfort zone.
Can you imagine
Talk about
this?
Ghana
Saka,
in generality.
Saka,
Yes.
control yourself. Thank you very much.
Can you imagine this? I'm sure my people and our people will be very disappointed in him.
Don't do this.
So Ghana is not complete without Upper West region.
But who says so?
That is what you just said.
But we start somewhere.
Can you imagine?
If he understood my
it will
problem,
get there.
I didn't want to take him to anywhere where he will. We are all comfortable.
You want to play the people sentiment against me.
And he's running away from it, saying that that's my comfort zone. It should be your comfort zone as well. You have done virtually nothing there when it comes to educational infrastructure.
But they've done some in other places. Will we agree?
Which is not even verifiable. To the best of my knowledge, they have done.
But you mentioned the STEM schools. Look at the number of STEM schools that have been, created.
How many STEM schools have they done? How many?
I told you here.
I'm asking Rosalind, not you, but I don't want to bring you into the conversation. Your government, your party told us that they were going to build 350 brand new secondary schools.
We start from
when did you say that?
When did we say?
When did we say that? It wasn't in our manifesto.
Don't we start somewhere?
So have they started the 350?
Yes, so far some have been completed.
Which one?
We're talking about the STEM
The MPP, why? The STEM is a completely different project that
they started. Is it not part of secondary schools?
Rosalind, how I asked you a question you couldn't answer. You are still talking about it. How many of the STEM schools have they? No, I don't want you to find yourself in trouble.
Who asked the question?
I'm saying that how many of those STEM schools have they finished?
They have started.
Oh, come on.
Let's continue.
He said they've started 10. You promised 350.
It's not that they've started 10. They've completed 10.
They have not completed 10. Where are those 10 schools? You don't know where are they? When you get your time, mention those schools that you have completed.
So you don't know we have
STEM schools. Are you getting the point? I'm saying that it is a palpable force for you to claim that you have done so well in educational infrastructure. Ask him, I'll take him up his comfort zone that he is running away from again.
He says he doesn't want you to go to the Upper West region.
You're talking about... Why? Rosalind, don't be saying that. Why does he want to go to Upper West?
I didn't even say that I don't want to go there. But you see, he's narrowing the whole debate.
I'm saying that.
That's
the proverb I gave.
No, I'm not saying he's narrowing the whole debate.
If I do this to him,
as if it is Upper West debate that we are sitting here today.
I think you should allow me, Rosalind. I'm saying that today you talk about Rose, and you think you comfortably sit on national television and say that you are doing your performance is the best than any other government did. What are the statistics? What shows? But the reality on the ground proves otherwise.
What are the realities?
I get in the point. So you see, for you as a government communicator to get the opportunity to talk about a budget, and you come and dance around what the ordinary person is feeling at home, and you think you are doing good to yourself and your party, the answer obviously is no. So you see, the NDC government is not what the NPP should be discussing now. Even if they do, they fail at that. He talked about completing 20 or 24 e-blocks, and he said the NDC completed 19, and you allowed him to go with that. Is that the case?
Did I allow him?
You allowed him. You collaborated
Didn't
that.
I correct the e-block?
You collaborated that. The handing over notes. That's the...
Wait. Before we are on live television, when he spoke about the numbers, I corrected him saying that the education minister actually came out to let us know that the e-blocks is 24 that had been completed.
By them. No, I'm talking about our figure. No. He said 19. The NDC completed 19.
So you're here to correct it, isn't it?
What I'm saying is that I said you allowed him to go with it because it is public...
Your time to correct it.
Rosalind, it's public knowledge.
So you are here to correct it. Just tell
Rosalind,
the public.
Don't let the conversation be between myself and you. Don't take Sarka's position for him.
I am not taking Sarka's position.
I'm saying that it's of public knowledge. It's the same way that when Sarka is speaking, people out there will think I'm taking your position. It's of public knowledge that even the handing over notes that Prof. Nana gave to Napo, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, did not say 19.
You say what?
Are you getting the point? I'm again giving you empirical evidence. So it was what? Which it was 24.
Okay.
I'm giving you an empirical evidence.
24 fully furnished, fully completed?
Commissioned. That was
so
it.
After one,
so it wasn't even about completed. What was commissioned and was in use.
Okay.
If you go to the Upper West region, we have 5 of them that was started by the NDC government. 2 completed and commissioned before we handed over. The remaining 3 are still at where they were. Nothing. If there is any improvement, it's weeds. Okay. So the issue, it's not about you bundling figures around. The reality on the ground proves otherwise.
There's some messages coming in. Abna and Sunyame Kaswa says, aka Dr. Baumia Beba, the delegate should vote for Dr. Baumia. He's the next lead and best candidate to break the 8 for the NPP. Let's all support him for victory 2024. Special regards to Honorable Mavis Howard Kumsin from Abna and Sunyame Kaswa. Okay, thank you so much. Daniel Apia Liok, I hope I got your name right, says, yesterday's budget presentation reveals that the economy of Ghana is broken beyond repairs. I am surprised that all these taxes are slapped on Ghanaians under the so-called economic guru, Dr. Baumia. Ghanaians have seen the true colors of Nana Addo's government and has tasted their bad governance. Saka is late for the program because he is to prepare to come and defend the lies, insincerity and dishonesty peddled by the finance minister in the mid-year budget review after destroying the very foundations of our economy that was laid by former President JDM. They sent people like Saka Salia to sit on national television to defend this mess. Okay, any more messages coming in? All right, some more messages again from the same person. The government of the day has lost its credibility with respect to economic management. Governance is about honesty and truthfulness. The NPP government, however, fancy blatantly lying to the good people of Ghana. They promise to transform our economy and make it better. Unfortunately, all we see today is a free fall of the cedi, galloping inflation, and draconian taxes being imposed on the ordinary Ghanaian. It is insulting for the finance minister, who should have been fired, to look Ghanaians in the face and say they have turned the corner. This budget does not reflect the reality of our economy. Okay, right.
Rosalind, somebody watching from West just sent me a picture of an e-block.
Okay, so send it to my producer.
this is how the NDC government left it
Send it
7
to-
years
send it to
ago.
my
I'll send it to her.
Yes.
This now. So the reality on the ground does not support the figures that you bundle.
Okay.
I
All right.
get it.
Let me come to Saka.
Rosalind, I think that let's be honest with ourselves here. My brother wanted to play some emotional game.
Oh,
with
your
me.
people have seen
please,
you
please,
already.
please,
Saka.
please.
Prince, I have
They've
to-
seen you
I have to
already.
stop him when you were
They've
talking.
seen
So
you already. You said that
is
power
he-
is
No,
a
no,
small
is
part.
he-
No, but that statement.
But Prince,
what did I
expected
do?
you to actually
Is he-
withdraw
apart
it
from-
and
when I
apologize.
told
Is he-
him to stop, he stopped.
Is
So
he-
please.
apart from everything else, I don't know why you what did you say that I said? When I said that
Saka, let's
we are
get to the
talking
point.
about national issues, not regional issues.
No, that's not what you said.
Please,
I
please,
first
please,
gave
please,
a
please.
proverb.
Wait.
Maybe
What
Saka
proverb?
did not
So
understand
what
my
proverb did you
proverb.
give?
Do you know
I
that
gave
when
a
the two
proverb
of you
that
speak
That's
at
what-
the same time,
I didn't
nobody can hear you?
No. Is he want to play emotional game with me?
Wait, Saka, are you aware?
If you don't have points, don't come and sit here and tell me that I'm not for my people.
Saka.
That's how they are.
As for that one, they've seen that.
That's how they are.
Prince, Saka, let's make our point.
Yeah,
let the people know that you are for your people.
No,
That's all. You have the time. Let them
That's how
know.
they are. Anywhere you go, especially this
Continue. Your people are watching. Let them
So
know you are for your
don't worry.
people. Yes.
Because he wanted to narrow us into a region. And I'm saying that we are talking about MPP, NDC, who perform better in terms of infrastructure. Then he said that let's go into a corner. And I said that let's generalize it. Then you said because if I said that it means that
You have the opportunity to let your people know that it's
so let's go. In terms of road,
Yes.
he said that there is any empirical record to show. Maybe he doesn't even know that, or he hasn't even found out that in terms of road, J. Kufuor came and picked the road infrastructure when it was 36,000 kilometers. He moved it from 36,000 to 69. Professor Milson, what do you call him? Mr. Mahama, took it from 69 to a paltry 74. Nanado picked it from 74, and today, as we are speaking, we are over 85. That is the records. And then you sit here and say that, there is no any empirical record to show. In terms of the STEM
buildings, yes.
Go to Busunchi. At least I can mention you, Busunchi.
You should mention the 10. You said you have finished.
Can you imagine?
Why, Rosalind? Don't allow me to do that.
Prince.
I gave you the opportunity.
But you said there is no. You are not giving.
Prince, he
Rosalind,
just
that's for this.
started.
I said, how can you tell that you gave me opportunity? What opportunity do you have to give to
Prince,
me?
wait.
Do you have an opportunity to give
So
to me?
what, you people want to run the show or what?
No.
So what?
Ask him. He is fighting with you for
He's
opportunities.
not fighting with me.
That he gave me opportunity.
He's not fighting
You are the
with
one
me.
to give me opportunity.
He's not fighting with me. Let's make our point.
He's fighting for
Please
you
continue.
for your position.
Please.
So I am saying, he said I should mention all.
Yes, you said you built 10.
And then you disagree that we would build 10.
Yes.
I
So
will
mention
mention
that. Don't say
So
that.
I will mention them too. I will mention them.
Let him mention Prince.
I will mention. So we have Busunchi.
Okay.
STEM school. Then we I'm coming.
But as you're looking for them, we're also making a point. Continue with your
daring
point.
him if he
Wait.
mentioned
Oh,
this 10.
please. You see,
No, Prince, it's not in your place
It's
to
not in
dare
your
him.
place to tell me.
No, it's not.
This is
It's
public
not.
knowledge.
Yes,
If
please
you are
continue.
speaking for your party and you don't know that MPP has built 10 STEM schools, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't deserve to be here because this is public knowledge. That is what.
Continue your
And at least I've given you one.
Okay.
If you
So
go-
on the record,
so-
on this show,
Yes.
we have given one.
At least.
Okay.
I have given
So
you
we
one.
have mentioned one
Yes.
as a record on this show.
Yes.
Let's continue.
As part
right.
of that. He sits here and peddle another falsehood that the NDC normally tell them to come and talk and peddle. That MPP promised 350 schools. Look, in 2012, 2016 elections, the NDC promised to build 200 schools. We promised to build. That is 2012. 2012 election. The NDC that was what the NDC won. They promised to build 200 secondary schools, and we promised. Even that one was not a part of the manifesto, but we also promised 350, even though it was not even part of the manifesto. NDC won that election, and if you win that election and you started building, at least you started building, do you want us to come and then also come and leave what we are building and go and start 350? And then, because that period where we actually promised had elapsed. And then you won and you started 200. So you lost again and we came. So you want us to go and build 350 and then leave your 200 that you couldn't even, you yourself in your own ways. You say you left 24 out of 123. You don't even reach 10% of what you promised to build.
But you are in opposition. You are in power.
Yeah, so, and that is the reason why I'm telling you that when we took over power, but even those ones.
So you have built.
Those ones that they said they completed, NPP government had to come and pay because they didn't leave money behind. So, in a nutshell, they signed the contract and the NPP government built those schools. Then you come and sit here and you want to say that.
So you have built.
In terms of infrastructure, and listen to this point.
Yes, please.
I normally use my words very well. When I say school infrastructure, I do not just say fresh schools. The NDC, because they govern with propaganda, every development that they do, there is propaganda in mind. MPP we could have built 1,000 schools if we want. Just go and build one train.
So why don't you do it?
Oh, please. Let me explain that.
If you want,
let me explain this. Let me explain this point.
Okay.
I'm saying it is not about building schools. It's about building infrastructure in the existing schools. So the NDC will go and build 1, 2, 3 classrooms and name it a school. NPP will go and build thousands of that in an existing school that has land. So we wanted access because of the free SHS that we brought. We wanted access for students to get into schools. Our preoccupation is not to create schools. And that is exactly what they did. You remember the universities that they created. They did not build the infrastructure of those universities. They only created the universities and left office. The MPP government had to come and build all the infrastructure of those universities.
Okay, so the MPP has done more infrastructure.
But today, if you are talking about universities, we built more universities than the MPP and all that. But it is not about naming. Just go and get the legislation and come and say that. It is about the infrastructure of those universities.
All right, Taka, let's move on to our next topic, which happens to be fuel prices increasing today. And just yesterday, when we hear that things are getting better and all of a sudden, 24 hours later, fuel prices going up, you get a little bit shaken.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because it has direct impacts on the economy.
What is happening?
Yeah. No government, or especially this government, would not be happy to just increase fuel. But the reality is that we are a net importer of a petroleum. Somebody will say that, you produced it and all that. We produce, but it's not ours. We have a portion. We only get the rent, then our almost 17% carry over, and those things. So if we look at all these things, we really should have been in joyous mood that petroleum prices are increasing in the world market.
We should have been in joyous mood.
Yeah, that petroleum prices are, because if everything belonged to us. Okay. But yesterday, the finance minister himself said that we produce about 120 barrels per day. And that is woefully inadequate, especially if you compare to the fact that we consume about 400 barrels per day and all that. So, and the one reason that is palpable is the fact that petroleum prices would have increased long ago if not the innovative policy that the vice president brought, that the gold for oil policy. The gold for oil ensured that the cedi, as we are speaking today, is relatively stable. If you compare the stability of the cedi over 6 months or even 1 year period, it is now relatively stable from 15 today, as we are speaking, 11 in terms of the dollar and all that. So
11 where?
To 11 in terms of the exchange rate.
11 cities. Where?
11 point something. 11 point something. So how much is this? You have been changing dollars every day.
Who said it's 11?
You have been changing dollars every day.
It's 12 cities and above. Who said 11? Taka, you have to do something.
It's 12 cities. Okay, no problem.
And above.
But you see, sometimes sometimes you people normally want to give us the rate of the Abuchi.
We are not giving
instead
you
of the Bank of Ghana rate.
We are going to foreign bureaus. Which one is Abuchi? These are people who have license.
You like going to Abuchi?
Who goes to Abuchi? No, even Abuchi might even sell it to you cheaper.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Always go to the Bank of Ghana. They will give you better rates.
Who can walk into Bank of Ghana and say that?
You can't with your elegance, you can walk there.
You know that you can't even go to a bank to go and change money into dollars.
Why? You can.
You can't. You only...
Just that you have to take... You have to go through formalities.
Saka, you know that you are only given dollars when you're traveling, so you ought to show your visa.
Why not? You go and show your visa.
But if I'm not traveling, how am I showing my visa?
No, but I mean, what are you Saka, going to do with the money if you're not traveling?
You and I know that it doesn't work in a certain way, but let's continue.
No, it works. It's just that, see,
let's not let people think that you can walk into a bank and change and the rate is lower.
Yeah,
it doesn't work
and
like
especially
that.
if you look at I'm still talking about the fuel. If the reason why it goes, there are factors that interplay to give us the export price. And those factors also include inflation. It includes the world market prices and all. That is the reason why we normally the deregulation came to ensure that we have every fortnight we meet to review it. Sometimes it is reviewed down, and it's sometimes marginal, and people don't talk about it. But when it's increased marginally, then people say that the fuel prices has increased and all those things. But I think that. For me, I think that with the current situation that we have in the world, when there is marginal increase, we should not be too worried. It will, within a space of 2 weeks, go down.
Okay.
And
you think it'll go down?
Of course. I mean, it will not stay there.
Okay.
It will not stay there forever, and especially that the increase is just going to be so marginal that unless maybe you are buying so much that you will feel it. But if you are buying like what we do, like 2-3 gallons into your car, you might not feel it so much. And especially
it depends on your pocket.
And especially that it might not lead to increase in transport prices.
Okay.
Because of the marginal nature.
You see, let me first of all start by apologizing to our viewers for the interjections that we have created. I think a few of them are not very comfortable. But I will want to make this point clearly that sometimes when somebody gets a platform like this and make a statement alleging, we should allow the person to prove it. Because Rosalind, it's not the three of us and the crew in the studios that is doing this show. There are millions of people watching us outside. Some of them are taking it as a form of education. As a government communicator, you are not here on your own behalf. You are here on behalf of the NPP and the government. You claim that you have built 10 STEM schools, and you can only mention one.
Well,
no, wait, Rosalind, I think you should allow me. You see, I took my time.
If I mention 9, you say that
would you comment on the fuel? Because we have barely 2 minutes to
I'm saying that because people have sent me
he has received
personal messages. So that's why I want to take my time. I will do that.
If I mention 9, you say why did you mention 10?
If you had allowed,
you were able to mention only one, Saka. You had an opportunity, you could mention only one.
At least I've mentioned one.
If you had allowed me, by now I would have probably finished.
Please go ahead.
So my point remains that you don't tell lies to that level. I stated, no, it's a complete lie. He's unable to prove it. It's a lie.
One.
So if somebody says 10, Rosalind, why are you doing this to me this morning?
My point is that the viewers at home will be the judge as to whether it's a lie. If somebody sits on national television and says, I have 10 apples and shows you only one, now you understand.
So you see, and I think I made another statement which I have just been corrected. Instead of me to mention 46, I mentioned 26. Now, if you go to the website of GetFund itself stated that 29 of the e-blocks were completed and commissioned before 2017.
Okay.
The NDC's position remains that we completed 46. And out of the 46, if you go to My Joy Online, which is your platform, all the 46 is listed there. 7th day, Community Day, Senior High School, Dema Community Day Senior High School, Lambuse Community
So
Day.
all are
I
linked.
can mention.
No, mention all. Mention
Okay,
all.
so fine. I've
Saka,
mentioned.
we don't have the
no,
time.
wait. No, allow him. I've mentioned 3.
Mention all.
I
mention
can
all.
use 30 seconds to finish.
Yeah, you mention
In Chumuru Community Day
After
Senior
that,
High
then I
School
will
at
take over.
Krachi in Chumuru, Mame Krobo Community Day Senior High School, Afram Plains, Kwabenya Community Day Senior High School, Ga East, Atamnos Community Day Senior
All
High
right,
School.
let me catch you here. It's
Nkwanta
online.
Community-
It's online.
It's
right?
online.
So
It's on my joy.
online.
Yeah.
So all the names are there.
So that is
So
why
let's-
I gave that proverb and he didn't understand.
Can we continue to the full increments?
Our dancer for is
He
not in
doesn't
our
want to
brother,
talk
it's
about
here.
the topic.
Into the increments of
So
fuel.
you see, it's the increment of the fuel prices. It has become a normal thing. I remember at a point in 2022, July to be specific, we had to buy a liter of diesel more than 20 Ghana cedis. You understand? It came down
I will mention them.
to a point that people thought we were just getting out of it. But gradually, we are almost hitting the 15 cedis mark. It is not anything good because directly, this is not an indirect thing, it's directly affecting
But we haven't hit the 15.
our.
Is that
That's what I said. I
12
used the
point
word. I
something.
said,
Today, how much
no,
will
the
it go?
increment is
It will
giving
go
us
to
13 points.
So let's
So I
stick
said
to the 13.
almost.
No, 13 point means almost 14, not almost 15.
Does that change something?
Yes, it changes.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't. Okay, you go and buy, calculate the liters and go and buy and see the change that you
will
get,
change.
Rosalie. It doesn't.
So almost
You see, you are
14.
querying me.
Let's take
You
to
are
the almost
querying me.
14.
You are querying me on
When you-
almost
when you-
14 and
when you-
15.
when you do math,
But you allow.
when you do math,
You cannot
you
move
go to
from-
the closer. You
I'm
can't
saying
jump
that
14 to
15.
15.
So that's why I use the word
Yes.
almost.
Almost
So
14.
it gives me an elastic position to.
They are ending us. So
So,
No, but give me 1 minute.
just I think that my fear is that this thing will always have a direct impact on our daily sales,
right.
especially at the market. Because the
Rosalie.
ordinary market woman will go somewhere, pick some plantain. The driver will obviously charge higher, and it means that the consumer will have to buy.
Rosalie, let me
keep
give
our
you the
fingers
steps.
crossed and hope that it doesn't happen. You have your 10 steps.
Let me give
He said he
you.
has the 10 steps.
Let me give him
I
the
was having my
list.
3
Let me give him the
I was
steps.
having my
He doesn't
3
want me
minutes.
to
I was having my 3
They are
minutes.
Awasu
He came-
STEM School and the Western region.
You see,
Awasu STEM School in the Western region.
You see, I thought
Akumasu
about
STEM School in the Eastern region.
Yeah.
Akumasu Busunchi STEM
Okay, so
School.
you know what we are going to do?
Rosalie.
We are going to put it in the next segment.
Rosalie.
We'll mention all the
Rosalie.
schools.
Technical.
Relax, Saka.
Rosalie.
Saka, relax,
Origin.
relax.
You
So
see,
what we are going to
he
do?
doesn't-
he just-
the
he
next
doesn't want me to
segment-
give him. I'm
the
saying
next
that the
segment
thing is
we are
on
going to
point.
mention- we are going to mention all the schools.
Graphic
So we'll take
online.
it from there. But you've been watching News Flash. My guest have been Saka Salia from the NPP and of course Prince Mahmood from the NDC. We are mentioning the names of the schools that are available by filling in those communities. Let us know.